Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tembile Maseko and I am a fourth year medical student at the University of Pretoria. This week we have an episode of scrubbing inwards tear, which I have not done in quite a while. So yeah, I'm really excited and I hope you enjoy the video. Firstly, I'd like to send a huge shout out to the 690 something subscribers that we have accumulated to. Yay! Thank you so much guys for the support. I really appreciate it and it gets me motivated to make videos even when I feel like, I'm not capable or don't have the energy to. Like this week, I was done writing one of my rotation tests. I was doing gynecology and honestly, I was finished. But today I was like, you know what, man, let's do this and let's just try our best. If we fail, we fail, as long as I've tried my best. So if you are new to this video, please remember to subscribe, like, comment if you have anything to say. Once again, any feedback would be amazing or anything you'd like us to talk about, I would be willing or open to receiving suggestions. Today's video is going to be about clinicals or how to prepare for your clinicals. It was inspired by the fact that the third years in my university, the University of Pretoria, are starting with their clinicals tomorrow, or whenever this video is being released, they would have started. If it's not today, then it's somewhere this week. So I thought maybe I could give you guys some tips and some advice on how you could maximize or do the most in your clinicals. Things I wish someone would have told me, things I wish I would have heard, with people giving me advice and stuff, because you get to the hospital and it's a new environment. And I think having some sort of plan would be very useful. So I'll be giving you guys, I think it's 15 tips on how you can best utilize your clinicals in order to get the best learning experience, and also how to just generally navigate throughout this new phase of your degree, because now you've gone past the lectures and just theory and now you're actually going to be working and doing what you actually came in to study for. So that's really exciting. Firstly, be excited. I know it's a bit anxious or not anxious, it causes a bit of anxiety, but for the most part it's going to be an amazing experience that is going to make you tap into or see how your future will be looking like. So yeah, let's start. So to give it some structure, I'm going to start with when you wake up, to what you should pack, to what you should do when you get to the hospital, and then how to actually work in the hospital, and then how to work with the people that you work with in the hospital. So firstly, we're gonna start with breakfast. I would highly recommend eating breakfast personally because you need the energy. You're going to be standing for, I know for us it's from 8 until 12, so 4 hours of standing. You barely sit down, so you need all the energy that you can get, and you don't want to be hungry during those rotations because there's no way. In some of the hospitals, they don't have cafeterias for the doctors or the students, so you're gonna have to wait until you get home. And some people actually faint because of hypoglycemia when they are in the theaters, so you don't want to be that person who faints because they didn't eat. Don't forget to pack your necessities. Have a really light backpack. Firstly, please get yourself a backpack that's really light, or a side bag, or a big fanny bag. I know those are really convenient. What you will need is a notebook. You'll need a stethoscope, a tourniquet, whatever, however you pronounce it. You'll need a measuring tape. You'll need your pregnancy wheel. You'll need, basically a patella hammer. That is in 30, I know that I only needed my measuring tape and my pregnancy wheel, if we're being honest. The stethoscope, I wore it because I bought my stethoscope and I wasn't about to not wear it. But I never used it, barely used it. But you will definitely need your measuring tape and your pregnancy wheel. Of course, it depends on the rotation you're doing. So your backpack, light backpack, have a notebook that you can write notes at, have a pen and a pencil that sits in your pocket here because you need to sign your logbook, you need to take notes. I use my iPad personally because I'm I might as well have my notes all in one place than having them scattered in different notebooks and then have to write them on my iPad again. So I would have my iPad with me, and it's possible to actually stand and write. Some people bring small notebooks. I used to have a small notebook in the beginning because it was easier to put in my pocket. But that's what you basically need. Pack a bottle of water so that if you get dehydrated, pack an apple if you're that person who feels you need a bit of energy in the day. Secondly, wear comfortable shoes and warm clothes. You don't want to be there shifting and turning and your feet will hurt. If you don't have comfortable shoes on, your feet will literally hurt because you stand for long hours and you're going to be walking a lot and you're going to need to be as comfortable as you can. Also because it's winter, it's not cute when you're cold there and you at the wards or whatever. The theaters are also really cold. Just a heads up, theaters are generally cold, so I would advise you to like wear something underneath your scrubs so that when you do take off and you like scrub in, you can keep that on and it helps you to be warm. I remember the first time I was in theater, I wore nothing and I got there and it was freezing. The doctors felt really sorry for us, but there's nothing they could do because I mean it is what it is and you have to scrub in. Unfortunately, you can't take in your jacket, it's not sterile. So yeah. Thirdly or fourthly, is it the third thing or the fourth thing? I don't know, my counting is counting, but according to this, it's number 4. Number 4, don't be afraid to ask around to find things. The nurses, the doctors, everyone, the general workers are always keen to tell you where things are. You just have to ask. Be polite, be nice, be respectful. If it's a nurse, say sister. If it's a doctor, say doctor. If it's a general worker, say ma, or sorry baba, or whatever, you know, in a very respectable manner, and just ask them where everything is. No one is going to trick you, no one is going to send you. Yes, sometimes they might not understand what you mean because of language barriers, etc. And some people don't know, but they want to give you like a plus minus direction. And some people think you know and they'll give you a place that you don't know, like yes, by there, whatever, and then they walk past and you're like, yo, but I don't know where that is. But basically ask where the injections are, where the syringes are, everything. Just ask, literally. People are there too. And then in conjunction with that, it's my number 5. Never assume every female healthcare worker is a sister. That is a mistake I made once, and it was a consultant. Now, there's this. In medicine, there's a hierarchy. I'm going to talk about that later. There's a hierarchy. There's the 3rd year med student, 4th year SICs, intern, ridge, junior consultant, senior consultant, prof. So a consultant is literally the one that's been on the prof, and I called her a sister, and she looked at me and she was like, I'm not a sister. And I was like, but I don't know, because they're all wearing scrubs and they all are walking around, and you know, you just assume that they are a sister, and it happens. So the safest option is to not call anyone a sister. Just say, ma, can you please tell me where everything is? If you can see, like try to read their tag and see plus minus what they are. Sometimes the ones who have, I forgot what they call the things, then you know it's a sister. But like if they're wearing just scrubs, just make sure, check their tag in order for you to address them correctly, because nothing is as embarrassing as that. It's very embarrassing, and it makes you seem like you're undermining them, whereas it's a genuine mistake. Number 6, get acquainted with the doctors that you work with. Get to know the doctors that are in your ward or wherever you are with the hospital that you are in. The more you get acquainted with the doctors, the easier it is to firstly get around and know where you should be. Secondly, to get your signatures, because at the end of the day, as much as we can get all the experience, they want to make sure that you do certain things in order for you to fulfill the objectives of your block. So if you know a doctor, they can help you figure out where you can get your signature signed. And also it's really nice when you can have a doctor who you can kind of talk to about getting more tips, etc., etc. And it's nice to get to know the doctors, and you never know, in the professional world they might be able to help you. And most of the doctors are really keen to tell you about like how medicine, or how to navigate the next few years of your life and the profession as a whole. So it's a great experience, and I mean, it's networking at the same time, because you'll be working with these people in the future. Some people won't be nice, some people will be mean, but honestly, I'd rather go through that than to not know these people, because that makes it very difficult if you don't know them. But like once you get used to even interacting with them, I feel like you kind of also relax, and you also grab opportunities easier because you get familiar with them. So if you can, get along with the doctors, or like kind of get really acquainted with them, and so they see your face and they know you and stuff like that. It makes it easier to get your signatures, and it makes it easier for you to just get around and get to do stuff too. Number 7, hunt for your signatures. Now, I know that sounds like, you know, we're playing Hunger Games in the hospital, but it really is like you're playing Hunger Games in the hospital. I'm just kidding. It's not exactly like that, but it's a matter of like, make sure you get your signatures first. Like, yes, when the opportunity comes for you to do extra stuff, totally go for it. But what happens is that you are at the end of your rotation or your clinicals, and now you are rushing and you are trying to find signatures, and there's no one available to get your signatures. And the thing is, you need to fill in your logbook so that they can be able to actually see that you're at the hospital. That's the only proof you have. So my advice would be that get your signatures as soon as you can, because once your signatures are sorted, then you can even focus on doing other things and gaining experience in other things that aren't necessarily a part of your logbook, like drawing more bloods, taking more tests to the lab, you know, etc., etc. And that gets you like to experience, put in IV lines, and then you get the experience you need for actual practical clinical work. So then you don't have to worry about the signatures. And at the end of the block, I know it's like close to test time and stuff, and sometimes you feel like, you know, you can't make it to the hospital on that day or whatever, or you get sick. Then you don't have to worry about getting signatures, and you can actually like have that day off or whatever. So get your signatures, hunt for your, and don't be too scared to ask, like, doctor, can I get a signature for this? Because sometimes I feel like as students, we like do stuff, and then it's like when you're supposed to get signatures, we feel like we don't deserve it. Of course, like, go and earn it if you can, but like, don't be scared to ask for your signatures. And if the doctor offers to give you more signatures, take them. And number 8, interns and SICs are your best friends. Make them your best friends, because they are the ones who will probably let you do a lot of stuff compared to the doctors. The doctors are busy dealing with cases that are like, you know, they're there for the case. The interns and the SICs are there to do the nitty-gritty work that you're gonna probably need to do when you're an intern, but like, you don't really get the chance to learn it. Like, it's not part of like your packaging when the doctor is teaching you. So like drawing bloods, putting IV lines, inserting catheters, etc. The most likely person who's gonna give you that responsibility is an intern, more than a doctor will. Doctor is in like a reg or someone like that, because they have more important things to take care of. They normally give that work to the interns too. So SICs are really great because they help you to kind of navigate. Like, they are really great to ask for directions and stuff like that. They're always willing to help. I remember when we were doing orthopedics, these SICs literally taught us so much. When the doctors came, it looked like we knew our stuff. And you know, it was the SICs who literally told us what to look out for, and they gave us this really nice lesson about like the x-ray they were showing us, and they were telling us the terms, etc. So get acquainted with those people. They will help you the most on the ground. Like, the doctors are great for signatures, but the SICs and interns are really where it's at. They will help you hustle in the clinic. Now, the next one is directed to specifically like us as students. It says, don't get satisfaction in bringing down others. Remember that just because they don't know, it doesn't mean they can't learn about it. I never understood the concept where people would find some sort of satisfaction in pointing out that you don't know something. You know, like, guys, you can always learn about it. And if I don't know it, it's not because I didn't want to know it, if that makes sense. When you are in the clinical rotation, unfortunately, with medicine especially, we don't all start in the same level. Some people have previous clinical experience, they have degrees in nursing, etc. Other people have so much vac work they did at like hospitals, and people they knew, doctors they knew. But some people didn't get those opportunities or don't know anything. Like, you never got exposed to the hospital before. And instead of you being a jerk, let's just put it in plain words, you help that person and show them how you learned and stuff, because it's, at the end of the day, who is it going to benefit if you bring someone down? You are helping another doctor become a better doctor for someone, for a patient in the future, and that's you helping or contributing to the healthcare system. So don't bring anyone down because they don't know anything. It doesn't mean that they can't learn about it. You literally could just be like, no, you know, the value of glucose, of normal glucose, is actually this and this, instead of being like, yo, how could you say that's the normal value? Because that also brings down that person's confidence, honestly. Like, the hospital is the most vulnerable place you'll find yourself as a medical student, because everyone there knows their stuff most of the time. It's doctors and nurses who've been doing this for years, and then they ask you questions and you don't know because you're a student, and then you feel like you're stupid because it seems like everyone knows. Then on that note too, if you are a student and you don't know something in the hospital, it's okay. Sorry, there's this video I posted the other day on my Instagram, and the lady was like, you are not stupid, you are just learning. Like, guys, we won't know everything. Come on, like, that's why we're studying, so we can know the stuff. And unfortunately, the doctors expect you to know everything when you're starting the rotation. They think you had time to study the whole content about what you are doing before you came, and it's like, bro, I was doing something else, so I had to focus on that. So whenever a doctor asks you a question and you don't know, try to not beat you. It's hard. It's really hard. It's something I've had to like learn to do over the years. It's been 1.5 years, a full year since I started my clinicals. But like, yeah, it's something that you keep on having to learn, that, you know what, I didn't know this one answer, but it doesn't mean I don't know anything. What helps me the most is honestly, like, come back home, learn about that thing. You'll probably even remember it better because you'll know that moment when the consultant asked you and you didn't know. But don't let that shut you down, please. Like, if if a consultant asks you another question and you know it, answer it. Don't let that one wrong answer you get stop you from answering the other questions, because there will be those small wins and there will be those small losses, and you have to kind of get or make those opportunities where you win, so you cannot be too bothered about the losses. But I'll talk about that in another question or like another suggestion. But yeah, basically, you're not stupid. You're there to learn, so you won't know anything, or you won't know a lot of those things. Most of those people are specialists. Most of those people have been working in those departments for years. And number 11, practice makes perfect. You're already at number 11. Basically, the more you do something, the better you become at it. Unfortunately or fortunately, medicine is a practical or practicing type of degree. You will never get to perfect something by just reading it in the textbook. You have to do the things. So when you are learning, when you get to the hospital, just try to do as much as you can until you can do it with your eyes closed, basically. The only way you'll ever be good at something in medicine is doing it over and over and over again. That's studying, that applies with actual practical work. So try to grab opportunities in the hospital. When you can draw blood. When you can put an IV line. When you can do a PV exam, even though hey, you know what? PV exam is a professional exam, and yeah, or like a digital rectum exam where you put your, yeah. These things are like, but like you have to know the number 12, throw yourself in the deep end. With medicine, the only way you get the best learning experience is when you throw yourself in the deep end. Or for me personally, I've realized that when I'm just like, okay, fine, I'll do it. Even though I know deep inside I'm like, you child, we don't know. What the heck are we doing? Like, just go ahead. And eventually you will know something, and you will be able to do the difficult things that everyone else avoids. So even when it comes to questions and whatever, like if they're like, doctor, who wants to show us the examination? If with these doctors, they'll be spicy. They'll be like, doctors, who wants to show us the examination? You're like, no, I'm just a fourth year medical student. And they're like, yeah, but you're gonna be a doctor. And you're like, ah. But yeah, basically, if a doctor's like, show us the abdominal examination, go ahead. Even if you haven't studied it properly, most doctors are not there to like butcher you. Some are there to butcher you and make you feel like you are really the bottom of the barrel, but most of them, or like some of them, are nice, and they're actually there to help you. And you're probably going to remember that abdominal examination better when you've done it, or like when you were corrected, etc., than someone who was watching. So yeah, if you are being thrown in the deep end, go ahead. When the doctor's like, who wants to retract whatever in the operation room, go and retract that thing. The doctor's like, who wants to hold this, who wants to put the POP, go say me. I know it's daunting, I know it's hard, but go for it. And something that I wish someone told me in 3rd year, and I think that as you go into the clinical rotation, you really should be aware of it. Just because it's number 13, just because you haven't seen something or done as much as other people doesn't mean you are less competent. It doesn't mean you're not getting any, like a whatever, stellar clinical experience or whatever. It happens. We are in different hospitals. The hospital, unfortunately, is not a very controlled environment. So you all are not going to see the same things. You all are not going to do the same things. Some people will come back and be like, yo, I saw this and this. And I remember the first few days of our clinicals, that frustrated me. I was like, why are we not seeing this? Like, why is everyone getting proper stuff to do and see, and I'm not? Like, I remember we even went in for an extra day with one of my friends because we were like, yo, we're not seeing Jack, and everyone is seeing stuff. Yes, if you feel like you really want to see more, you can totally go ahead and like go to the hospital in your own time and do extra things. But if you don't get to see assist, yes, it sucks. It's cool to see those things. But if you haven't seen it, don't think that you are now less competent than other people. Medicine is your own race. It really is your own race. And you can be at the right space, but it doesn't mean you'll get the same thing as the next person who comes the next day, because patients are different. And there's different things that are going to happen every single day. What you can do is just try that in every opportunity that you get, make the most out of it. And number 14, there is a hierarchy in the hospital, but do not let people bully you at the same time. In medicine, unfortunately, there is kind of a toxic culture where, if you're really the bottom of the barrel, you will feel that you are the bottom of the barrel. And I feel like, it's a mixture of like people trying to really, it's deep. That one is a deep one that I think we all need therapy for, but it's fine. We'll talk about it another day. For now, just gonna say that, like, respect the hierarchy, but like don't let anyone bully you. Know that an SIC is definitely higher than you are. Know that a doctor is definitely deserves more respect than you do. But at the same time, don't let people take away opportunities from you just because, especially between students. Like, I've seen it where people are like, because I'm fifth year, get out of the surgery, or like get out of the theater when you've already scrubbed in. And it's like, okay, but I got here first. And as much as, yeah, you also need to see it, and you're probably gonna graduate first, I also need it for my logbook. So hey, scoot. So yes, respect them because they are your seniors, because they know more and they can teach you a lot of things, but don't let anyone bully you. And number 15, you will have disagreements in your groups sometimes. Sometimes you're fortunate enough to be in a group where you don't have to fight anyone. I personally haven't had to necessarily actively fight anyone anyway. Yeah, I haven't been in like a big argument with anyone. Almost did once because people were just being spicy and taking opportunities and cheating, basically, to get signatures, but see collabo. But like, yeah, you guys are probably gonna have disagreements and there's going to be a bit of squabbles in groups. Don't be childish about it, just be mature about it, talk it out. So don't be shocked if you keep on fighting with people. It happens. Working with people, there's bound to be conflicts if you're working with people. And number 16, you'll see gory things, but you'll survive. Like, you'll see things that you never thought you were ready to see. I mean, the first ever clinical rotation I did was obs and gynae, and I saw women giving birth. I saw women giving birth, bro. And that thing it's a lot. Basically, you'll see a lot of things. You'll see C-sections. Guys, yeah, I don't know. Like, you'll see operations, people being cut. You'll see people being torn apart. You'll see a lot of things, and it's just part of the job. You get used to it. You have to. That's what you're gonna do. So you have to get used to it. Yeah, some people faint. It happens. If you do faint, the consultants and registers are probably gonna be like, "Oh, what faint?" But like, if it happens, it happens. I mean, these things are not necessarily things you see every day. So if it's a shock to you, it's okay. Like, I know some people, some people can't stand blood. I don't know why you would do medicine if you can't stand blood, but yeah, you're just gonna have to condition yourself to get used to it. Honestly, like, there's no way to avoid such things like human fluids, and you're gonna see weird things. You're gonna see people's legs twisted in weird directions. You're gonna see infections that you don't understand how a person didn't come to the hospital earlier for. And you're just gonna have to, thank God for masks. Masks are helping us survive and patients to not see the reactions that we sometimes pull. The last one, number 17, get through as much content as you can. Try to prep in order to get the best experience. That is something that I would highly recommend. The more prepared you are, the more you can do, the more you'll be able to learn. Like, that literally is how it is. But at the same time, sometimes you don't get to prepare, you don't have the time to prep, and that's okay. There is time. Like, come back home, read through the chapter you guys were doing today. Read through the chapter you guys are doing today, etc., and be better for tomorrow. And that brings us to the end of our video. I hope you guys liked the content, or you liked today's videos, and I hope it's useful to you, to your friends, to your family, and the only way you'll find out if it's useful for them is if you share it. So remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week, hopefully. I'm starting a new rotation. It's called internal medicine. It's like medicine, like proper, like about everything. So it's gonna be an interesting experience, and I'm excited, kind of nervous. Everyone's like, internal medicine, so it's like, but I hope I'll be okay. I'll be fine. You guys have a great week, and goodbye.